More luck. Maybe it was my puppy fat, or my soft bones, or my incredibly good fortune. But I didn't die. I didn't even break anything. I'd flown in my short life twice and lived to tell the tale. I found a small hollow at the base of the fallen tree. I poked my nose in, and then I got a swat and a hiss from a grouchy old raccoon. Kept going, waddling, whimpering. Lights ahead. New, strange smells. Kept going, kept going. It's amazing how much the sheer will not to die can keep you moving. Exit 8. Oh, I finally came across this small road curving off the main road. It was exit 8, turned into out to be. A big billboard overhead had a picture of a terrifying animal on it. Of course, I didn't know that billboard what a billboard was. I didn't know that scary animal was a gorilla, let alone that he would become my dearest friend. But something had told me to follow off the off-ramp. Eventually, I ended up on the Big 8 Top Mall in the video arcade, home of the one and only Ivan. History. Well, I made it to the mall, slept in the dirty hay by some garbage bins. The next night, I found that hole in Ivan's cage. Stole his banana, slept on his belly, and the rest, as they say, is history. For 2 years, I've lived in that CDO place. That was part mall, part circus, and all crummy. But that was nothing compared to Ivan. He spent 27 lousy years there. And our dear friend Stella, the old circus elephant, was stuck there for most of her life, too. When Stella passed away, it nearly broke Ivan's heart. I tried like crazy to get him through those dark days. But what really saved him, I think, was Ruby, our baby elephant friend. Before Stella died, Ivan promised he'd get Ruby out of here, out of this awful place. In my amazement, he actually pulled it off. Ivan and Ruby and a bunch of our other pals ended up going to different places and zoos and sanctuaries that knew how to take care of them. They're with others of their own kind, and they're loved and well cared for. It's been over a year now since we all moved, and they seem much happier. Me, I lucked out. My girl Julia, whose dad worked at the mall, decided that her family needed a dog. Who was I to argue? 2 square meals a day, my own bed, and all the belly rubs I could beg for. What dog in his right mind would say no to that? The best part, though, was we don't live far from Ivan and Ruby. I get to see them all the time. I'm glad they're nearby. I'm thrilled when we're settled in. So really, it's a solid solution. But it's not a perfect one. Tennis ball. The way I understand things is like this. We live on a lonely ball called Earth. And humans have basically been throwing it up against the wall for as long as the poor old ball's been falling apart. It's like me with the tennis ball, chewing away at it until nothing but pieces of slimy rubber that taste like, slimy rubber. And that means there aren't as many places left for wild animals. Seems there are good zoos, and good sanctuaries and bad sanctuaries. Just like there are good dog families and bad dog families, the good places are trying to keep the wild species healthy and safe. They don't want endangered animals to go away forever. Then, they also don't want the earth to run out and turn into a slimy, dilapidated tennis ball. Although honestly, slimy rubber doesn't taste half that bad. You should try it sometime. The thing is, I would give anything to see my old dear pal Ivan deep in the jungles of Africa, where he was born. Or I'd love to see Ruby running across the savannah with a herd of elephants, her big old ears flapping in the wind. I'd give up a mile-high pile of bacon cheeseburgers to see that happen. I really would, not kidding. But it ain't happening. I get that. And so do they. When you're an animal, it just helps to be a realist. Part 2. Dream. This morning I wake up in my cozy bed way too early for Julia to make me breakfast. She and her mom and dad are still asleep, and even the guinea pigs are silent, and my belly grumbles. Once again, I curse my thumblessness. Humans are one big, huge design flaw. The inferior noses, the inscrutable humdrum rumps. Don't get me started on their odor. But the opposable thumb idea? Yeah, that's a nice upgrade. The cans I could open, the doorknobs I could conquer. Anyways, I feel worried. Off. Worry's a waste of time. And it doesn't fit in with my tough guy act, but sometimes I can't get to seem to help myself. Before I woke up, I'd been dreaming about Ivan and Ruby and Stella. It wasn't a nice dream, a fun and run, toe twitcher dream. Nope, it was one of those nightmares, and it was a bad one. We were swimming, all four of us, in a black, raging river, and for some reason, I was in the lead. And I kept looking back, telling them I was gonna save them. Me, save them, 2 elephants and a gorilla. Ha! But I paddled like mad. Their voices faded, and I looked behind me, and they'd vanished. And then I heard it. A faint bark. Oh, that bark. I woke up, like I always do. I did an all-over shake, trying to toss off the stench of the nightmare, and clung on to like my shampoo after bath. I told myself to chill, get a grip, stop worrying about nothing, and get a primitive part of my brain, that wolf part maybe, it's on its edge. A lot can go wrong in a moment left to chance, the blink of an eye, a bounce of a bone. There are so many ways the world can find to fail you.